I just received 2 comments from viewers that I'm going to discuss regarding landlords. One comment comes from a tenant who's having a problem with their landlord, and the other is something that you may have never considered. Those are great comments, and they're the topic of this video. Hello again, everyone. I'm attorney Robert Flessis. Are you learning something from my videos? Well, I hope so. If you want to help others find my videos, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing to boost my ranking on YouTube. New subs will appreciate it, and so will I. Well, let's talk about the first comment. The viewer is living in a unit in an area of the country where summertime brings hot and muggy weather. It's 92 degrees in this viewer's apartment. Sure, they have air conditioning, but it doesn't work. They're living in unbearable conditions. Like I've told you in my other landlord-tenant videos, tenants enter into a contract with a landlord. The contract basically says, I'll pay you rent, Mr. Landlord, if you provide me with suitable housing. Well, the viewer asks, can I get out of my lease? I've told the landlord about the air conditioning problem, but they're not responding. That's a classic uninhabitability issue. The viewer is not getting what he or she paid for.
You're a bad man. You're a very bad man.
Well, here's a simple solution. If you've relied on texting and calling your landlord to complain, the best way to get their attention is to write the landlord a letter and send it by certified mail. Politely describe the problem. Then tell them the ways that you've tried to contact them and put the dates that you've contacted them in your letter. Write down that they did not respond to you. Then give them a deadline in the letter to fix the problem and say if they don't correct it, you're going to consider it a breach of contract. The breach is that the landlord failed to provide you with a habitable unit. You're sending it by certified mail so you have a record that you sent it. They can't deny it then that they never got notice. Once the letter hits the mailbox, it's delivered. Now, if they still blow you off, then you can legally terminate the lease and move out for that reason. If the landlord goes after you for the balance of the rent that's owed, then your defense is already set up. Here's another viewer comment. This viewer said that since landlords check you out before renting to you, why don't you check the landlord out before you sign their lease? Good point. Like in the first comment of no air conditioning that I just described, to avoid that situation, check the landlord out before you rent. Do your due diligence by calling your local building inspector to see if any complaints or orders were written up on that landlord and the specific property that you want to rent. That's a public record. Contact your local health department to see if this landlord had been written up for health and safety violations. That's a public record too. These inquiries are going to tell you what type of a landlord that you could possibly be dealing with. The third thing you can do is to look at the public court records online to see if the landlord was ever sued by a tenant. Or if they have a ton of evictions, that could mean that they're renting to just anyone and this landlord just wants money. Has the landlord been sued for not returning security deposit? Have they been sued or countersued for breach of contract? These inquiries may reveal some telling things that you wouldn't have known but for your research. If you don't do this, then you have no one else to blame but yourself. You walked right into a bad landlord without checking them out. But that doesn't mean that you can't take action after you lease a unit and you run into legitimate problems. The point I'm making is that you could have avoided problems with your landlord if you took the time to check them out. Let me know your experience in the comments section below. I'm attorney Robert Flessis. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you in the next video.